Dienstages Dilemmatag. It's Kaiser here, and in this Star Trek CCG First Edition Dilemma Strategy video, you'll find another exclusive spoiler of a card from the upcoming virtual expansion Second Star from the right. Let's have a look. As you might have seen, this new expansion focuses on the Classic Films period. We'll find Classic Films Federation and Klingon personnel, and a couple of verbs to help them hit the spaceline easier and give them some extra power. And just like last week and the one before, Kirk and his superstar crew will try and attempt Earth using the HQ's homeworld objective. So let's just beam everyone down and let's hit entertaining display. Just like last week, our opponent downloads two females, the Intendant and this time Telora. And like last week, the Intendant immediately suspends play to special download Assassination Plot. Our opponent names a skill, they name Archaeology, and we kill an opposing personnel, so one of our personnel, with that skill present with that assassin. We only have a single Archaeology on Dr. Chapel, so she is randomly selected to be killed. The Assassination Plot is discarded, and our opponent has to return the Intendant to the hand. And then the attempt simply continues, and entertaining display can be ignored for the rest of this show. The next seed card here is Barber Pole, which is of course our stand-in for our spoiler card here. And this one is Hello Computer! So it shows one of my favorite scenes from the entire Star Trek franchise. Scotty is trying to communicate with quaint old technology, and it reads, unless archaeology, physics and computer skill present, placed on table, all your personnel are attributes all -2. It has the alternate universe icon, and it also has a countdown of 3. Now, as we've run out of archaeology here, first of all, our away team is stopped, and Hello Computer then enters play. And until the countdown has counted down, all our guys, not just the personnel at this location here, but all personnel in play are attributes -2. It has stopped us for the turn, but it will also be in effect for the next 2 full turns, because it only counts down at the end of our opponent's turns. So we are in a bit of a pickle here, because what do we do? Do we continue attempting here, or do we go to a different mission, knowing full well that all our guys have the attributes reduced by -2, and there's a lot of bad stuff that could come up. We'll have a look at it later in the show. So what do? We are not cowards. We send our crew again to espionage mission and try our luck with the last seed card here. And it is Clan People. To get past, must have Kyle Parker present, which we don't, or cunning greater than 38 from up to 5 away team members. This can be tricky, however, with our superstars we could beat it. We have 10 on Spock, 8 on Kirk for 18, 8 on Sulu for 26, 8 on Scott for 34, and then a couple of 7s, so we could beat it with 41. However, all our guys are -2, so the best we could cough up here is cunning greater than 31. So it has stopped us for a second turn. And it will still be around on the next turn. So unless we can put some high cunning guys into play, and that means 10 or more, or some equipment or events that boost our cunning, we can't get through on the next turn either. However, once Hello Computer has counted down, we could attempt again. So let's assume that we have set out the countdown, and then we can attempt with our printed attributes again. We'll send all these guys down, and we proceed to count up the cunning, 10, 18, 26, 34, 41, but our opponent points out that they still have Tylora there, and she also has a download of Assassination Plot. So if our opponent has another Assassination Plot somewhere, not in the tent, because they're only allowed to have one in the tent, but they might have one in their draw deck, they could then play another Assassination Plot, naming a skill. Probably they would name something that can be found on Officer Spock, something like music. We would find it also on Uhura, but none of the others, so we'd have a good chance of offing Spock. Or maybe just name science, because that's not on any of the other personnel. Oh, actually it's on Zulu. So we could then kill another guy, and then it will become quite tricky. Let's say we name Science and we hit the lesser option here. We kill Zulu. Then we would have 10 on Spock, 8 on Kirk for 18, and 8, that's 26, and 7, that's 33, and 7, that's 40. So now we could actually get through. Unless our opponent surprises us yet again by doing some nasty stuff like playing That's a Stupid Question. It's suspense play to make all opponent's officer classification personal attributes -2 until end of turn. So it's suspense play. That means you can play it anytime. Usually interrupts wouldn't be able to be played in the middle of a mission attempt, but if it says suspense play, then you can do just that. And then all the officer classification guys like Spock and also Admiral Kirk and also Chekhov would see the attributes reduced yet again. So even after sitting out the countdown, even after making sure that we have everything with that interrupt, we can continue with that theme of attribute reduction there and just be very, very annoying. Now, of course, we could simply move to a different mission if we see Hello Computer there, but whether that's such a good choice is a question here, because there are a lot of dilemmas that can be very powerful and that benefit from reduced attributes. For example, God, which can stop the attempt and destroy a ship in orbit. Spatial Rift, which can discard personnel and stop the attempt. Firestorm, which can kill a lot of personnel if you're playing one of the affiliations that are not that strong on integrity anyway, and then with a -2 on the table, it could potentially wipe out an entire away team of, let's say, Romulans. Maglock is always a favorite when it comes to attributes, and this one pairs especially nicely with That's a Stupid Question. Flash Plasma Storm doesn't see a lot of play. When in doubt, people would probably run the Firestorm over it. Sleeper Trap is also a card that pairs nicely with the reduced attributes. If, for example, Kirk is reduced from a strength of 7 to a strength of 5, then he's an easy target for the boosted Cardassians that will be downloaded with this. Usually with this you download a 7, 8, and 9 strength Cardassian together with a Cardassian Disruptor and a Cardassian Disruptor rifle. So the Cardassians will have strength of 12, 13, and 14. So they have very good chances of killing a personal each. And then on the following turn, when it's the Dilemma player's turn, they can attempt again and find easier targets to kill. Or you could pair it with Subspace Shockwave, where we need navigation and cunning greater than 7, or the Clown Beneath the Mask. That's a dilemma that we showed, I think, 3 episodes ago. We need a single personnel that has attributes greater than 23, so we need an 888. That's hard to find. And while we're affected by Hello Computer, that means we would have to find a personnel with 10, 10, 10, or attributes that have the same total. So it can be tricky to attempt a mission with that card on the table, so probably you would try and find an expendable crew and just do some redshirting as if it's possible. But it can really lead to some interesting decisions there. Okay. If you enjoy this card at all or enjoy this show, then please leave a comment or ring the bell, subscribe to this channel. And as always, thanks very much to TrekCC for allowing me to use this card on my little show. And I suggest you head over to TrekCC this Friday when the rest of the cards from this expansion will be released. And then hopefully on next week's Thursday night deck building, we can have a look at a deck that uses classic films personnel that we find in Second Star to the right. That's all I've got for this week. Until next time, bye bye.